Hi guys, this is Do It Yourself Jim, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Tic Tac Toe game out of some wood. I put a side on here so when you lift that up, the marbles that go on these spots will have a place to go. Kind of neat. You can buy these guys on oddballstudiostore.com, or you can make your own. It's got these little feet pads here to make it nice and soft when you're sitting it down onto any surface like that. And all we're going to use is I think these are they're supposed to be like 2x6s, but then it's like a 2x5 and I don't know, 3/8 or something like that. Anyway, you go to Lowe's, anything like that, and get those pieces. I'm going to cut those into 4 3/4, and then I'm going to cut the sides down here so it makes it nice and square, like I'll show you on these here. I cut the edges on all edges so it makes it nice and square looking. On these, if you look at the board, they got the round edges, and I don't want that. I want it to look nice and square. So I'm going to cut these. I'll show you the markings, cut it once, and then I'll show you how I make the little lines, and we'll go on from there. Alright guys, so here we are. Now on this here, this is just a regular table saw, and I got it where it's going to be 4 3/4. I don't know if you can see the 4 there. And 3/4, so that's as big as I'm going to make them all. I'm just going to show you how I cut one of them, and then you don't have to watch me cut all these boards, but I'm going to cut this rest of this board that I got here, and then I'll show you the lines I'm going to cut for the actual tic-tac-toe things, as well as cutting the sides, which I'll show you in just a minute. But I'm going to show you how to cut one right now. Now let me get this wheeled up a little bit. We don't want it to be too short, that's for sure. So there, and that saw blade's above that. So I always get it to where at least one tooth is above. All right. Now I'm going to turn this guy on. One. Like I said, I'll cut the others. Alright guys, so now I've cut all these little blocks to 4 3/4, okay? And just out of the scrap wood that I had. Now, these edges here, see how they're round? I'm going to make them perfectly square, so I'm going to take a 1/4 inch off each side, and that'll make these 4 3/4. And then it'll be nice and square looking. So, again, I'm just going to show you one and cut it, and then I'm just going to do them all, so I don't have to waste all the time to sit there and do all this fun stuff. So anyway, again, I set this for a 1/4 inch on here, so that way I don't have to mess with that all for myself. So here we go. Okay, so now we've cut all these little blocks into perfect little squares here. And now we're going to cut these little grooves, these lines for the tic-tac-toe. Now what I'm going to do with these, here I'll show you with this one here, is I set this, I don't know if you can see on the side there or not, but it's just barely going to go, I don't know if you can see it from a different position, it's just barely going to go on the thing itself, so you're just going to score it. It's sort of like you could use a router, I guess, but this is just going to be much easier. And I set it at 1.5 inches so that we'll get perfect squares on here. So I'm just going to cut one of them that I'll show you, and then we'll stop the video again, and I'll just cut the rest of them, because you don't need to watch me do all of these. Very easy. We're just like lightly scoring these, so it's real simple. We just I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but now just nice squares. And on the side, it's just that little indentation there. So there it is. I'm going to finish up with all the rest of them, then we'll go on to the next of doing the little circles. Alright, so now I've cut all the lines and all these right here. So now we're going to drill the little dimples in here for all the marbles. All these little things here. I don't know if you can see them in there. So now we're going to do that for these. So what I did is I set up a board and I put these on here so I could clamp them. So that way I can just run them right on through like that. Just, you know, run on through. And I did the thing right here so it's a little bit above. But it's got these adjuster sights here, right here. Everyone's is a little different, so I'm not going to say the measurement. Anyway, I make it to just where this even point is. So that way the full depth will go in there. Just enough to get the tip in there so that way it has the dimples in there. Alright. And let's see here. Away we go. Turn on my. So now I'm just eyeing these for the center. It's not like I'm. Those off there, and there you have just although I gotta do the center one, but obviously you can't do that right there, but we'll just take those clamps off when I'm done all of them and just hit the center one. It's not a big deal, but that's how you're gonna do all these. And then the next part will be drilling the holes for the actual marbles. Alright, so here we got all the little things except for the center, and I'm just gonna do the center one because we had that board on there and everything. So we're just going to do the one, and like I said, then I'll do all the rest, and then we'll start doing the next part, which is drilling the holes down the side, and that's for the marbles to fit into. Okay? So watch me do this. Safety glasses, and you just want to get in the center. It's just a guess. It doesn't have to be, I mean, if you guys that are really analytical, you can do something to make it exactly perfect, but I'm not quite that analytical. And there you go. All of them. Cool. I'll do the rest. Alright, so what I've done is I've marked this bit here, so how far down that goes there, and right now we're right there. And so I'm just going to finish. You can see the mark. I marked it how far it went down there, so now I got a little spot. So I got to go that much farther for this one. So let's do that. Hold it tight. That line's almost the spot there. That's about it right there. And then we come down out of there. Now you could probably use a hand drill if you want to, but then holding on to it's kind of hard with your feet and all that kind of stuff. We want easy as much as possible. So now I got my marbles here. Again, I'm just doing whatever colors because I'm just trying to make sure they fit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, and there'll be 5 of the other color in there. And then, like I said, this will fit flat on there. Yeah, I don't know. Can you see there? Anyway, and then put the screw in there, and it'll slide like that. So On to the next. I won't bore you with the rest. Okay, so I got all these guys cut out here for the tic-tac-toe. Now these pieces right here, these were those ones that I'd cut off the sides to make them more square. So I just, made them for each one of those, and here. So those are all the holes that are drilled. There's the marbles in that one. I'll take them out in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some stain. I've already sanded these. I'm not going to bore you with the sanding, but just painting all the grooves and everything. I'll do a little bit on the camera, and we'll see how it goes. Awesome. Alright guys, so I got my tic-tac-toe here, and I'm going to use a darker, it's wood finish, and it's an espresso. I'm going to use that for the darker ones. The darker I'm going to do for these little dots and these little crosses here, and probably the outside edges. When I do the top, I'm just going to use a mahogany blaze, I call it. So it's a little bit different in color, so it's not all just one drab color. So we'll just do one here, and then if all goes well, we'll go on. So I'm just staining it in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Alright, now make sure get that side there. It's only as correct or as much as you want to do. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then I'll just do one of these dots here so you can see that. So that's that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do it without you guys watching me do all the boring stuff, okay? Alright guys, so now that I did those one lines with the flat brush there, I don't know if you can see that or not. That's flat. And I'm going to do this round one here. And that's going to go for the little holes, and it helps with not making it bleed as much. I don't know if the camera person's going to get it or not, but just dab it in there. If you get any on the sides, you can always just sand it off. It's not a big deal. That one. Then I just take a cloth. I use these to put my fingers in. Cloth. And I got this, and I dip it in there for the sides here. And I'm just doing those. Make sure you get nice and good. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, and I don't know if you're getting that good enough. Get a nice, cool looking. Just gotta work it in all that wood grain there. Same with this one's a little tougher, so I'm gonna put a little bit more on there. There's that. And then with the other end, I'm going to use this different glaze, that honey glaze I was talking about, to go over the top and to go right there. First I'm going to sand some of this little stuff here off so it looks a little more clean. Alright, so now I'm just going to be putting this honey glaze on, like I was saying here. And just go right over top of that. Get that a little closer. And then we're going to put like a lacquer, polyurethane, probably lacquer is a little bit stronger on that in a little bit. Alright, so I do that, cover it up, gives it a cool look. Now I'm going to go on the side just a little bit with this, just to give it a little flavor. Alright, and then the bottom I'm going to do with this brown also. So. And that's that. And then this is the outside. That's going to be for the holes that go like that on there. And I'm going to use the dark side because I'm going to put the dark on there. So I'll just do this here real quick. And voila, there it is. That's gonna be with that one. And that's it for now. Okay, so as you can see, I stained all these and I laid them all out. Just showing you. And I got the sides, and here in a second I'm going to show you how I put the sides on. And the last thing I'll do is the varnish on them. Awesome. Alright, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but I got this. This is the piece, that's the side. There's where the holes are for the marbles. This is dry now after I've stained them. And I'm just going to give them nice and even on that. And then you can measure it if you want to, but right there is the center, so I'm just going to eye everything. And I'm going to pre-drill for this right here. Make sure that the sides are very even. And I'm going to go right here. And again, make sure it's nice and even. Alright, then I'm going to get some of this off of here. Now, just so I can countersink, you can use a countersink bit, it'd probably be better to use, but I'm just going to use this right here to do my little countersink where that hole is, just so the screw head doesn't stick out. And you don't have to do it super hard or anything. Again, there's that. And I'm going to put the screw head in. And I got the screw. I don't know if you can see that right now, but the threads start a little bit lower, so there's a space right there. That's so when you put it in through the top, that it doesn't stick to it, that it'll just have a free spin. I'll show you what I mean in a minute here. Make sure it's nice and even again. Holes should line up, but you know, you never know. So nice and flat, and then that spins open. And you put your marbles in there. What I'll do is I'll dab some of that stain on there. And that's going to be that part. Then I'm just going to put the feet on. I'll probably varnish it first and then put the feet on when we're done. Okay guys, so I'm using this Deco Art. It's a triple thick gloss glaze. So I'm going to do that instead of doing the lacquer. I'm trying to see how this works. We'll see if this is better than the lacquer. It's kind of thick, so you could like loosen it up a little bit with some lacquer thinner or something. But anyway, I pour a little bit on there. And I use my brush, making sure I'm getting everywhere on that. Make sure you get my sides. Whoops. And there, there, and there. And I'll do my best to go with the grain, so that way when it starts drying up, it'll smoothen out. Got some up here. Alright, so then I like the rest of these. I don't know if you can see some that I've already done. These right here, they're already real shiny, glossy. But anyway, I start that, and then for me personally, any of the extra goop, I'm getting with a little brush and scooping them away. The lacquer might be a little easier to use than this stuff, so you could try whatever you like, but I wanted to see what it looked like with this. It gives a nice, like a gloss, almost like a glass on top of it, if it's thick enough, but you don't want it too thick like this right here. Will end up being that white color. So you got to get some of it out of there. And you can see it just takes a little bit of getting in there. Okay, so I got all these done. I'm gonna get to a little closer up look. It looks a little like clumpy kind of, but I mean it's really glossy and it feels really cool in your hands. It's like really just glassy looking. Let's see if I can get a better picture of that. Anyway, so now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go on the back side and I'm gonna put these little felt things for little feet in all the corners. I'm just gonna, they have adhesive on them, but I'm gonna use some Gorilla Glue. Just I'm gonna dab them on there, right in that spot, and then put the piece on. I'm gonna do those, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. But they are looking great, all of them, fantastic. Had fun. All right, so now I've done all the little feet on them. This guy here. They're on there, so that way it gives it a nice solid little look. And it will open up. Kind of hard to do with one hand. Opens up, the marbles go in there, and there, and it closes. It's cool. Awesome. So I got a bunch of them. And now we'll just keep on putting them up and over. And there they are. Thank you and have an awesome day. Alright guys, so this is Do It Yourself Jim, and we finished with the Tic Tac Toe game here. So you can sort of see how it's nice and shiny like a glass. It has a little bit of like clumping, which I love. It gives that handmade look, nice and glossy. We did the Oddball Studio Store.com there with the little feet, so that's awesome. Now we're going to play the game, get those out, close that back up. It's my house with my rules. Which color do you like? I do orange. Alright, go ahead and make your first move there, brother.
Alright.
Shit. And it's a cat game. But that's what happens with Tic Tac Toe. Anyway, if you'd like to purchase this, you can go to oddballstudiostore.com, or you can make it. I showed you how to. Anyway, you have a fantastic day. Enjoy. If you go like any of these products, you can find them on our site. Okay? Thanks.